In the heart of the city, Seoul, a new rhythm emerges. From the depths of the industrial landscape, a sound is forged.
A sound that resonates with the pulse of the streets. This is more than music. Steeltown Sessions. Unleash your night. Feel the rhythm.
I'm the host of this amazing podcast that we broadcast live every Saturday at the Element Cannabis Superstore located at 5 King Street East in downtown Hamilton. This is our 8th episode. We have been on a 420 broadcast blitz this weekend. 8 hours on the 18th of April, celebrating Canna Crawl and the amazing culture available in this beautiful city of Hamilton, going through a cultural renaissance. Yesterday was 419, 420 Eve for all of you who may or may not be in the know. Trust me, in the cannabis community, it's just a big deal. Today is 420, 2026. It's the future. I'm living in the future. Um, my name is Cy Williams. I have been the longtime editor-in-chief of Canada's longest-running cannabis culture magazine, High Canada Magazine. We concluded our 12-year run this year, where we have our issue 100 dropping this summer, available for purchase online. We have decided that after working in cannabis media for 12 years and watching the slow and steady progress of legalization here in Canada, that it was time to shuffle it up, to change things up, to do things a little bit differently. And we are indeed doing things differently. This is our first show back. This is a part of the Deep Culture series of sessions that we are putting on, starting with the Steeltown sessions here in Hamilton. We are located on one of the busiest corners of the city of Hamilton's downtown. We are at James and King, the heart of the city, seconds away from McMaster, seconds away from the brand new TD Coliseum. It's a bustling, beautiful street. In the center of the street are parks lining the center of the street with statues and trees, big buildings, and beautiful architecture surrounding me on this very, very busy street. I'm in our street level studio. And I'm in front of a giant window. I have beautiful chairs, so loud, so beautiful. I am in what many consider to be a cannabis tourism destination, a superstore set in one of the busiest intersections, or adjacent to one of the busiest intersections in Hamilton. We are broadcasting live today off YouTube, and for the first time, broadcasting live the entirety of our show on TikTok. So that we have some cool things going on today. It is, of course, 420. And 420 comes with certain expectations and a certain run up to this traditionally stoner holiday. Now, in countries like Germany, Berlin, they are going to see upwards of 50 to 100,000 people showing up at their legalization events or their 420 events. And this is because Germany is still in the middle of a giant green rush, and excitement and energy and passion is at an all-time high. It's the same thing in the United States of America, where we're going to be seeing 420 celebrations because they are also in the middle of a green rush and still fighting the fight to fully legalize, to fully decriminalize, to have medical cannabis integrated into all the different state laws. They're close, but they're not there yet. And that is usually the fire that causes the big cloud of smoke that gets people energized and out and planning and celebrating a 420. Pre-legalization in Toronto had some of the biggest 420 events that I've ever seen. You know, we used to, in the early days of my magazine's platform, the 420 celebration usually happened at Dundas Square, smack dab in the center of the city, Yonge and Dundas. The stage would usually be sponsored by Crop King Seeds or some other cannabis company. 20, 30,000 people would show up to watch activists speak and charge up people. Aaron and Chris Goodwin would always speak. Jody Emery was always on site. And she's such an awesome speaker, and she usually got so much enthusiasm, and she just pumped that crowd up. I always looked forward to a performance by the High Five Girls, and always a staple in the cannabis community. There would be comedians and bands, and the excitement level would be so incredibly high. And on more than one occasion, I saw the crowds at Yonge and Dundas swell into the busy streets. Pandemonium, just excitement, clouds of smoke so thick above the Dundas Square that it was just awe-inspiring. To go down into Yonge Dundas subway was to experience the hotboxing of hotboxing. Excuse my little bit of a cough. Just before I jumped on, it was time for a proper 420 fueling. And my 420 fuel is brought to you by High Boys Slapjacks. This has been the fuel that this particular cannabis editor-in-chief, cannabis publisher, cannabis talk show host requires to get himself going before a long broadcasting schedule. Thanks to High Boys, thanks to their slapjacks, thanks to Element Cannabis, and thanks to you for tuning in. So if you're looking for us on Rumble this week, you're going to have to wait, because this episode, instead of putting it on Rumble, I'm going to try something a little bit different. TikTok has been so welcoming and so open to everything that we have been doing. They were always on TikTok. Viewers and followers were always so supportive during my run with High Canada magazine. They have been incredibly supportive and encouraging during my transition over to Deep Culture and to the Sessions podcasts. I love TikTok. It's my source of news and information, because I am an information junkie. I want to know what's happening in the world and abroad at any given time. And with the current publication news ban that's going on in Canada, making it harder and harder to find reliable news outlets, and my own general distrust of anything that's corporate media, that big news outlets they are covering and getting back out to the public, I have this sense of unease and distrust. So I like to find my own news using communities reports and community publications. And you know, Facebook, you try, but you don't always deliver what I need to see, and it's not always the truth. And sometimes it's very it's, to quote a few people out there, it can be very fake newsy. Instagram and Facebook, you guys are both the same way. You do not get your news off these platforms. But if you are looking for people on the street really showing you the way it is, unfiltered, without any of those embargoes or moratoriums on news, well, I go to TikTok. I have noticed, broadcasting live these last 8 episodes, that the lives I've put up on TikTok are very engaging. We get a lot of followers, and it augments what we are doing on our YouTube channel so well. So welcome, TikTok. Great to have you on board. It is our 8th episode of Steeltown Sessions, and it's the last leg in my 24-hour 420 weekend celebration, a broadcast blitz, my first broadcast marathon, and whoa, I can feel the scratchiness in my throat. I can feel a little fatigue. I have a little bit of 5 o'clock shadow coming out because I shaved a couple days before I started on the 18th. We did 3 back-to-back shows, each 8 hours each, here at our street level studio, located at 5 King Street East in Hamilton. Uh, it's the last day. Excitement is high. People are coming in to wish us 420. We've had a plethora of guests, very interesting and interesting indeed guests, come in and join us over the last little while. Uh, and you know, a real highlight of the weekend for me was Canada. Now, Canada is a long-standing, long-running community-focused event that really promotes unity within the Canadian cannabis space. At Canacrawl, you can see unity being illustrated by the vendors, the speakers, and the attendees. And it's one of the few places around that you can still see legal, legacy, and sovereign, and independence all working together towards a united cannabis space, proving once again that there is room for everybody within this cannabis space umbrella in Canada. Always love to see that. It's something we have been working on for a long time, finding unity in the culture, unity in our shared love of plants. And I know that legal has really stepped into the forefront of all discussions. There are so many legal shops, there are so many legal brands. And, you know, it's taken us a while, but I'm starting to see how legal cannabis has started to fully integrate into Canadian culture on all levels. Same with the other two. Legacy is deeply respected, and it is a feather in any legal company's hat to be able to pull in an experienced person from the legacy market, be it a retailer, cultivator, formulator, or manufacturer. And some of the best legal places out there have utilized and tapped into some of the phenomenal talent that comes out of the legacy space in Canada. Sovereign is sovereign, and it offers a distinct flavor to its culture that it brings to the Canadian cannabis space. They uh, they take a page out of the legal cannabis sector with regulation and testing, but you know what? It's just interesting for me to see how at an event like Canacrawl, how they all can work together for a common cause, despite very obvious regulatory differences and stances on how the government did legalize cannabis. It's very interesting for me to see. Hamilton really is the heart of cannabis culture here in Ontario. Not Toronto, it's not Stratford, it's not Windsor, it's not Ottawa. It's not Kingston. It's not Kitchener. It's not Burlington. And it's not Whitby. Hamilton, for year after year, as I have published High Canada Magazine, and that I've been out actively in doing this with my team, Hamilton has consistently led the charge in terms of cannabis events, cannabis advocates. When the legacy storefronts and dispensaries arose, Hamilton was in there like a dirty shirt. And some of the people that the Hamilton cannabis scene produced during the Green Rush have gone on to become leaders and trailblazers and just do big things. Cannabis has always been in the heart of Hamilton. And as Hamilton undergoes this cultural renaissance, and it has been for the last little while, and I'm really starting to see the proof in the pudding, the results. You know, the TD Coliseum, they put a lot of money into this new facility so that they could host world level entertainment, that they could really help to revitalize the downtown core. And the downtown core looks so great. Steeltown's always been a gritty city, wear its heart on its sleeve type of city. They have always loved their live music, their beer, their cannabis, and their events, their festivals, their music. It is a working class city, and it has really embraced its creative side over the last decade. Uh, there are so many amazing bands that perform here. There are so many live music venues. It has the most vibrant music scene of any city that I travel to. So much so, it wasn't any surprise to me to see how well received the Juno Awards were and what a big part of the city of Hamilton that the Juno Awards have become. Seeing sold out concerts and the streets around the Junos. And if those of you who are paying attention, we were giving out Cardi B tickets a couple weeks ago, and wow, to see the streets on the night of the Cardi B concert out here was like being at Mardi Gras. Happy, beautiful people getting ready to celebrate and enjoy one of their favorite performers in this world class city that embraces things like graffiti and art and punk and country and every other type of music out there. Hamilton is hot. And that's just on the music scene. Then there's the art scene, where the second Friday of every month, Art Crawl happens. And Art Crawl is a celebration of independent artists setting up all over the downtown core, celebrating art, showcasing art in all its forms, from sculpture to performance, installation, paintings, drawings. There is so much art at the Art Crawl that it's staggering and inspiring, and it has become a big part of what the downtown core has to offer and what the city of Hamilton has to offer. There are so many art centric organizations and groups out there, from the Cotton Factory, which hosts so many amazing artists and events. By the way, speaking of the Cotton Factory, there was a grand opening the same day as our grand opening, and it was for a place called Johnny Types. Johnny. Johnny repairs and sells antique and older typewriters. And as a writer, I've had a few of these typewriters, and I love them. I give them names. I write stories and manuscripts, and eventually, I put them on a shelf somewhere, and I switched over to an electric. And then one day, my electric typewriter going at the speed of sound, sometimes university, I switched over to PCs. And sadly, I, um, I lost the taste for typewriters. As I got older, I started to miss it. The clickety clack of the typewriter keys, the hitting, the return every time you got to the end of the line, the massive amount of intent you had to take with each page. And there's something about being a writer as well, and taking that page out, looking at it, putting it on the pile, putting the next page in and going. That sense of purpose and a sense of going through these specific motions that add weight to the current of your flow of writing. So Johnny Types, another one of those people who deeply admire the typewriter and what it brings to the creative table. Well, he set up shop and he threw a big old grand opening. And how amazing was it to see how well it's received it was. I follow him on social media, and I had been inviting Johnny Types down to the show to talk to me about typewriters. 'Cause I'm a writer. I own a few typewriters. I appreciate both the aesthetics of typewriters, especially those classic Coronas. I have this beautiful teal one put in storage, and it is just a work of art to me. With these beautiful keys, and, just so gorgeous. And it writes in cursive, which is kind of cool. Um, so Johnny, if you're watching, come on down today. It's 4:20. I am doing this special thing for anybody who comes in today, and I am letting you select your own spirit animal. You'll have to excuse me. There we go. I probably overdid it a little bit, On the high, boys, slapjacks. I certainly hope I'm not getting sick, but I have been talking a lot. I spoke for 8 hours yesterday. I spoke for 8 hours the day before. And I will speak for 8 hours tonight. I'm gonna just go take a coffee break. I will be right back. And after this coughing fit. And that is the downside of a live show. Because if you have to cough, sneeze, use the bathroom, what do? Well, you could cough your face off in front of the camera into your mic, or 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 you can step off camera like a good person and make sure that you get that coughing fit under control. I have some friends that I like to sesh with. When we consume, inevitably somebody will start coughing, and that will lead another person to start coughing. And sometimes you look around your sesh circle, and everybody's kind of coughing. What I find always interesting that no matter what the discussion is, no matter what the conversation is, we all appear to understand each other through the coughs. It's like cannabis consumers, people, enthusiasts and connoisseurs speak their own special language. And there was something my father used to tell me, and he was like, "Well, Cyril, if you don't cough, I don't think you get off." And I used to laugh because my father was a pretty straight individual, but every once in a while he would surprise me. He could roll a mean hash joint. I could find that out till I was in my late teens. Sometimes we think our parents are not as cool as we want them to be. And isn't it a pleasant surprise when you grow up and you find out that not only are your parents kind of cool, but they probably would have shared their stash with you all these years had you would have asked. Funny, eh? Well, I like smoking cannabis with family members. I love introducing a new family member to the joys of seshing and what cannabis brings into their life. In my family, I have a big family. I am one of 9 children. My father was one of 14 children. Each one of those kids had between 7 and 9 children. We have some crazy family reunions, let me tell you. But one of my favorite staples of any family reunion, be it a wedding, a funeral, a baptism, or just an old fashioned Williams kitchen party, is the inevitable slipping away to some relative's car, fitting 8, 9, 10, 11 people into that car. And I'm talking 4 people in the front, bucket seats. 8 people in the back, stacked on top of each other. One row, another row on their legs. Maybe we can fit 1 or 2 more in on the floor. If it's a bigger car, we can get even more. And then the relatives who consume cannabis will inevitably all spark up, and there will be a few relatives like sweet Auntie Gail, 89, who's always wanted to try, or 21-year-old Johnny, who didn't know any of his aunts or uncles consumed, and they climb in this car and hot box the living bejesus out of it. And we usually are in there for a while until people are coughing and unable to breathe because the smoke is so heavy. My cute, sweet aunt of elderly age, giggling her ass off because she hasn't even hit it yet. The music going, and inevitably we will pour out of that car like water, laughing till we cry, rejoining the rest of the family with this slight aroma in the air, and inevitably the next one will come around, and a new group of relatives will be almost waiting in line to get into that hot box car. Always fun, always a good time, and there's nothing quite like consuming with your relatives. So, viewers, people watching, have you ever consumed with your parents, your mom and dad, your family? Do you have traditions? Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, Halloween. What are your favorite experiences introducing a family member to consumption? And do you have any funny stories about those experiences, those sessions? Because sessioning with family can be a lot of fun. So, for those of you just tuning in, my name is Cy Williams. I am the host of Steeltown Sessions. We broadcast live every Saturday from our beautiful street level studio here in downtown Hamilton, adjacent to the very busy intersection of King and James. We are located at 5 King Street East in Hamilton. We're less than a minute away from Jackson Square, less than a minute away from the TD Coliseum, McMaster University, big buildings. I can see the BDC building, the Scotia Bank building, the CIBC Tower from my location. There's a sculpture of some old white dude sitting across from me in a park full of people. It is spring. It is 420. People have been coming in and out of the store to wish us a 420 and to pick up their 420 um, party favors, so to speak. So we have a 420 raffle going on today. This 420 raffle is for a Puffco Pro. The Puffco Pro revolutionizes the way you live and consume concentrates. It is one of the coolest gadgets that I have seen in my tenure as cannabis editor in chief of Canadian and European Cannabis Magazine. I am always so amazed. And what I really like about the Puffco Pro is how compact it is, how it only needs a little to make it go a long way, and how friendly it is to new consumers. And with the heat levels you can change, and you can make it a very, very positive experience for someone who has never used a Puffco, never taken a dab, is wants to try concentrates but just doesn't want to get involved in glass culture or figure out a rig or an e It is a rose quartz color. The team here at Element Cannabis has affectionately nicknamed it Ellie, and you have a chance to take Ellie home with you today at 420, or actually at 4:23 or 25, after I come in from my obligatory 420 outdoor sesh. I will be joined by my producer, Paul, and we'll be pulling the raffle ticket for the person who won the Puffco Pro. How do you get involved? Oh, you got to come to the store. You have to come to the store during my 24-hour marathon. We're in the last leg. It ends about 8 o'clock tonight, but you only have until 4:19 today, Eastern Standard Time, to come down to Element Cannabis at 5 King Street East in Hamilton. Just throw in a raffle ticket for a chance to win. Now, your odds are actually pretty good. Something I have noticed over the last 3 or 4 days, or 3 days, is that people love their pre rolls. People love to roll their own. Concentrate lovers, they love concentrates, but they're already set up with their ideal way that they like to do concentrates. A lot of people were unfamiliar with what a Puffco Pro even was. Imagine. I was surprised, but then again, I live, breathe, eat, smoke, encompass. I live in the cannabis space. I take these things for granted. I assume everybody knows about the Puffco Peak. I assume everybody knows about Shadowriser, Maintainer, about cultivation lights, and I make these assumptions sometimes. But I realize Puffco, you need to get out on the street and start doing some education. You have to let people know how amazing your hardware really is. You need to get out there and let people know because a lot of people came into the store over the last couple of days and only 1 out of 5 put in a raffle ticket because they didn't know what it was, how they could incorporate it into their life. And the ones who did, though, put raffle tickets in, they recognized the excellence of what was being shown, of what is being given away. So if you don't know what a Puffco Peak is, or you are not familiar with some of the new amazing hardware that is out on the market, so helping you enjoy your favorite concentrate or explore new types of concentrates, because there are some amazing concentrates out there. Things that'll have you salivating. Strawberry jam from Dabble, one of my favorite out there. Rosin Star, top of their game when it comes to concentrates. I love hash concentrates, diamonds. I love that sort of thing. But I'm also a busy guy, and I am a clumsy guy, and I've broken more rigs and bombs than probably any other person that I know. I talk with my hands. I'm constantly knocking shit off tables. I am not an ideal person to have a mothership glass rig or to have a $900 rig set up on my desk because I'm going to break it. Same with bongs. I used to love bongs. And then I hit an age where I took a bong rip and I coughed so long that I threw my back out. And that made me feel old. But the Puffco Pro? Oh, I have seen people who have never smoked a joint before take a nice long first pull off a Puffco, not cough their brains out, turn purple, and fall on the ground dying, but thoroughly enjoy the terpene profile, the amazing uplifting effects, and it's definitely not as daunting as being at a cannabis event and going up to a dab bar worrying whether or not you can handle the dab sample that that tender is going to present. Now, luckily, we have really great dab tenders out there in the Canadian cannabis sector. They know their stuff. They take it very seriously. In the early days of the cannabis sector, when we first started throwing dab events and having dab bars and dab tenders, you go to the odd party and you get a quirky dab tender who'd want to dab you out. They would drop a hot, fat 1 gram dab on a nail and watch you try to do your best to try to suck that bad boy down, only to turn purple, cough your brains out, and maybe regain the ability to speak 10 minutes later. I was quick. They're going to drop a 1 gram dab on my ass. I'm going to take it easy. Puffco, though, to control exactly how much you consume, it is it has revolutionized the way people are doing concentrate. So I hope you come down, put in a raffle ticket. Maybe you can win this one. Like I said, she is rose quartz in color. We affectionately call her Ellie. Okay, I need to be very careful about my language, especially on TikTok, because I just got flagged with a violation. Ding, 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 sigh. Making private? No, I am making violations. Okay, so I will not talk consumption. Sometimes I get carried away with how cool something is. But do come into the Element Cannabis Superstore today, 4/4/20. Put in a raffle ticket. Check that out. I'm giving out some cool swag from some of the very cool companies who have products available here at the Element Cannabis Superstore. And if you come in and say hi to me, I will not only give you a piece of swag, but I brought something cool in. I have been letting people choose their spirit animal as a good sign of what the world has to hold between now and next 420. So come see me. Maybe I'll throw you on a chair, put a mic on you, and throw you online with me. But you will absolutely get to choose a spirit animal, your spirit animal. Well, consult my handy dandy spirit animal book. Find out what that sign, what that spirit animal really means. And we'll talk about all sorts of cool and interesting things. The Mondial Circus is coming to town. When was the last time you went to the circus? For me, it's been a long time since I've been to the circus. I grew up in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and we went to the Shrine Circus once. Clowns, elephants, ringmasters, tight wire acts. And as a kid, I was fascinated. It was wild. It was incredibly frenetic and colorful and truly an amazing show. And as I grew up, circuses kind of faded away. There's the animal cruelty side of it that didn't really sit well with a lot of people. And then I guess it was a couple decades ago, I saw the rise of organizations like Cirque du Soleil, who are bringing elements of the circus back into the public eye. I saw acts in Vegas focusing on circus style performances. I attended a Pink concert in Toronto a couple years, and she did most of her show uh, doing aerial acrobats on trapezes and silk dancing. And it is just so cool to see how we have continued to evolve the concept of the circus. Now that I've been having a love affair with Hamilton. I've been exploring its streets, its shops, its stores, its restaurants. And something fun is coming to Hamilton. If you don't know, there's going to be a circus in town. You know, how many of you are wishing you could run away from your current world and problems and just join the circus? Well, the Nouveau Cirque, the Mondial Circus is coming to Hamilton, and it guarantees that it is 100% human. So, no aliens, no psychotic paranormal clowns, no man-eating elephants or performing giraffes. Um, they are not shooting puppies out of cannons, and they are not. I don't think there's any aliens or fish acts. But what they do promise is some 100% human fun. And they also promise it's fantastic. And it is in Hamilton from the 9th to the 26th of April. So one more week left to catch the Mondial Circus. Please try not to run away with them. Because you wake up one day, you'll figure out that you're now a carny and that you are in perpetual motion around a very big circuit of places you are performing in the circus. And hey, might be for you, but it might not. So try not to run away with the circus if you can avoid. So it's 420. There have been some big 420 celebrations. I was talking about how Dundas Square, we used to hotbox the Dundas station, and how it usually became pandemonium on the streets of young Dundas. Eventually, the city of Toronto decided that the 420 celebration had outgrown Dundas Square, and the location was changed to City Hall. And those few years just before legalization, 2016, 2017, 2018 in particular, City Hall venue exploded. I've never seen so many people show up at an event. Never had that many people at a protest. I've seen parades that have less people. And wow, I remember that my son, my youngest son, he had been very anxious to try and attend a 420. He had turned 19 that year, and he was ready and he wanted to go. So I took him. And my son Xander had never experienced a 420 like this before. And to be honest, I haven't seen a 420 like this since. This was the last big year that 420 really counted in Toronto, where we had almost 70,000 people, where people were overflowing onto adjacent Bay Street, onto adjacent Queen Street, where the crowd was so thick from the sidewalk of Queen all the way to the ice rink, and then from the ice rink all the way to the buildings of City Hall themselves. There were so many people. I'd never seen that many people, I don't think, in my entire life before. And what an amazing feeling. The cloud of smoke that consumed City Hall buildings, that hovered over all of the people. I go back and look at photographs of that sometimes. It's just the hands up in unity, in celebration, defiantly consuming in public because, it hasn't always been as accepted as it is now. And the experience of consuming with your friends, with your family, in a big group where you all share the belief that this should be one, decriminalized, two, normalized, three, destigmatized, and legalized. People were on the same page, and you don't see that. I had never seen that. I had never seen such a diverse group of people all fighting and celebrating and demanding change for anything. For we don't do it for very much, but we did it for cannabis, and we managed to have it legalized and decriminalized to a certain extent, and pulled out of the shadows and the alleys and the back alleys and out of the, uh, I'm going to quote the federal government, out of the grips of organized crime. And now legal cannabis in Canada is one of the most heavily regulated, heavily taxed groups or parts of the Canadian sector. It stretches from coast to coast. Canada is now one of the world leaders in cannabis production. Canada grows some of the very, very best cannabis in the world. Our EU GMP facilities, that's the highly regulated and uh, carefully constructed to certain specifications so that they can compete on the international market. We export so much amazing cannabis to so many parts of the world: Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Spain, Portugal, Macedonia, just Israel. The list goes on and on and on. Canada has this mature market. We have gone through the process. We're no longer in our green rush, not like our neighbors to the south or other countries around the world that are just trying to figure it out now. We were one of the first G8 countries or G20 countries to step forward and legalize. And I am incredibly critical over the legalization process. I am extremely critical of the political insiders and politicians who make themselves filthy rich in the process. I resented for a long time the federal government for coming in, seizing, occupying, stealing our IP, stealing our knowledge base, and then becoming the biggest mob in Canada and taking the biggest piece. I guess you really didn't want to have organized crime taking that much money out of the economy. I guess you really didn't want that many people becoming entrepreneurs and finding ways to feed their families through their particular sector. we work in one of the most restrictive sectors out there. They pulled in $1.5 billion in taxation, excise taxes last year. Goes into slush fund. So they don't really tell us what they do with this giant influx of money. And it's not just the federal government, it's also provincial, municipal. There's always insurances, securities. There's all these other costs associated. Recall insurance, the cost of building an LP or a cultivation area or a grow room or a manufacturing room. Um, it comes with all these extra steps that you have to make to ensure public safety and to produce clean flower. And we've had some major problems sweep through the cultivation side of our legal sector and our legacy sector. Top thyroid, major problem with facilities. Powdery mildew, it's a big problem. Uh, Heavy metals. There's so many things that can contaminate a grower for the cultivation that it's really important to really be on your toes and have perfectly built facilities and maintain a certain quality. Um, the cost to get in to grow, to become a cultivator in legal or the medical side of cannabis cultivation or the EU GMP export side of cultivation, it's astronomical. It's expensive. You have to jump through so many hoops, so many levels of licensing. It is a very, very expensive project to get into. The same can be said for retail shops. There was a rush to get retail shop licenses. There were so many dispensaries, pre-legalized shops that sprung up all over Canada, Toronto and Hamilton, every major city in Ontario, Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton, and British Columbia. It exploded in ways that the rest of the country was blown away at. Vancouver, Victoria, they became hubs of culture and excellence. Some of the farmers and cultivators in British Columbia, Fraser Valley, Okanagan, the interior, they became some of the best cultivators in Canada. Ontario had to really work hard to catch up and to really pull its quality cultivation game up. There's some great cultivators and formulators and manufacturers also in Quebec. And the East Coast got in the game. And let me tell you, when those East Coasters got in the game, things changed. Places like Atlantic Can, East Can, Scotia, they produce some fire. Not only do they produce fire, they are one of the biggest exporters of EU flower to the rest of the world. And they utilize so many micro cultivators. And those are cultivators who are more craft oriented, shorter, smaller plant runs, a focus on quality, not quantity, and always, always, always producing fire. And once you've been in the sector a while, you really start to see the difference between legacy, craft, between quality, high end flower and low end price to move material. And I love the fact that we can get to a point where it's cost effective, where there are some great, cheap, and cheerful strains that you can try, that you can smoke on the daily. But there are also so many quality connoisseur products out there. Um, Diamond infused pre-roll, amazing live rosin, some beautiful concentrates, some like fire flower coming out of some of the craft cultivators. that exist within Canada. Places like places like Royal Harvest, Great Garden Farms, Smoker Farms, Pure Fire, out of British Columbia, fire, just fucking fire. And the same can be said for like companies in Quebec. For sorry, 514, the Temple Boss. Oh, to die for. Um, there are great. What is it? Great White North. Some amazing selections coming out of Quebec. MTL at Carmel. There are some great alcohol producing some, just like I said, fire. We also have the Pepsis and the Cokes of the Canadian cannabis space. Cheap and cheerful, the price conscious offerings that and I've smoked a great number of these. I have my favorites. I've been smoking for I've been singing for a long, long time. I've hit the point in my career that I feel that I will never try all of the variations available. And I'm constantly surprised to see, discover that I'm constantly finding new, new flavors and strains that I like to try. There's different things at different times of the day as well that I do. I don't usually go for the bag of cheap and cheerful, although I will, on occasion, pick up a bag of pre rolls or a pack of pre rolls or one of the. I do like exploring what's out there, and I do like the grab bags that Color Cannabis puts out, cheap and cheerful, on the go. One of my favorite, stop and take a break, stop and breathe, have a Mars bar moment. And a cup of coffee. I usually go for Scotia and their crab cakes because it is amazing, tasty. It has a complex terpene profile. It's uplifting, and Scotia is a staple and has been around for a long time. And they focus on one thing: small batch quality. That's it. They do what they do, and they do it well. And I like seeing that. Sure, we need our Cokes and Pepsis, our organograms, and our general admissions, but we need quality small batch runs, and that's where the Canadian cannabis space really shines. We shine that same way with our craft beer sector and our wineries, and we certainly do it with our craft cannabis. And there are so many groups growing great things. In the early days, the first couple of years, holy crow, dude, we were a critical bunch of stoners. Let me tell you, there was anything wrong with those legal weed, the internet would hear about it. If the buds were too small, if testing was inaccurate, if it looked weird, if you trimmers missed a stem, or if it wasn't absolutely perfect, we ripped you apart because then you didn't know what you were doing. And we had come out of decades of people who knew what they were doing. Yeah, testing had to catch up. A lot of these places, in the early days, the early cultivators, they also took testing seriously. It was their entire reputation and career on the line if they didn't. In-house testing was a constant in a number of the pre-legalized cultivation spots that I visited before legalization. Self-regulation was important. Making sure that you were not selling food was important. Do you remember when gamma irradiation enraged people within the Canadian and international cannabis space, and how quickly we moved away from that and don't talk about that anymore? People are purists. They want good product, clean product, flushed product. So I'm not tasting all the nutrient bath you spent the last couple of weeks reading it. You make sure it is flushed properly, that it is trimmed perfectly. You know, Talk to a connoisseur and they will tell you the pros and cons behind a hand trimmed bud and a machine trimmed. They, uh, they will talk to you about complex terpene flavors, about how different pre-roll can taste at the beginning, middle, and end. They'll look at the ash and analyze it, tell you why or how, or what went wrong, or well, it should have been flushed one more time or not. Um, there are so many considerations, and that's what people don't think about. They think it's weed. They call it bigger. It's cannabis, and cannabis is actually one of the most multifaceted, complex plants out there. You can't just smoke one pre-roll from one cultivator and think that you understand the whole consuming cannabis thing, because you're not. You won't. It's wrong. That's just dead wrong. Sometimes it takes people years of trying different things before they find one that is absolutely perfect for them. That they love it on every level. You know, I know people out there that cannot smoke sativa because their thoughts go wild and they get into anxiety, clean the kitchen mode. And they're like, oh, I had my last cannabis, this was too much for me. Oh my goodness, I couldn't stop thinking. I think I greened out. And or I talk to people who they smoked indica once, get couch locked, get the munchies, then they're like, oh, they feel groggy for a little bit of time, and they don't try anything else. Some people react differently to sativa or indica. Some people like the hybrids, where they're bred specifically to have. Oh, they're bred specifically to have. Did I just pick up another violation? No. Why? Okay, TikTok. I thought we were getting along. TikTok, don't do this to me. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, on YouTube, TikTok, and I'm right here. I don't think it likes a lot of the things I'm talking about, but we are gonna try to push through anyways. I was talking about how you need to try a lot of different things sometimes before you find the strain or percentage that's right for you. I know a number of people who have cannabis sensitivities. They cannot smoke a 24% or a 30%, or they cannot smoke concentrates because they're too strong. And a lot of people come into places and they're looking for that high THC, that most bang for your buck. That's like going into a beer store and buying the cheapest vodka to get drunk the quickest. Sure, there are people who smoke to get high. Just talk. I get that. I get that. There's product available for you. But there are the people who've got cannabis sensitivities who they only want a 12% or even a 7% with a high CBD count. They are not down to be smoking, say, I don't know, one of the monster joints or any of these disty joints or these diamond infused joints. Uh, they're down to smoke something that uplifts them and doesn't get them baked. So, you know, I love talking to people who have cannabis sensitivities because sometimes it takes them a while to find the one and they need a little bit of encouragement to try a few different ones and see what works for them. And that's where your bud tenders for your customers. That's where people who are longtime connoisseurs within the sector are very, very helpful. It's a good bud tender and a good person within that sector will help you explore the different options available. I know seniors, I know seniors with cannabis sensitivities who they they buy a topical for say they go down to Six Nations and they buy a topical. They say let's say they try some of that Akai. Now Akai is a very effective pain cream that's available out here in Ontario, and it's 500 milligrams of THC, 500 milligrams of CBD. It is an effective topical for pain. But if you have cannabis sensitivity, you'd rather some of this on you. I've heard a few seniors and people tell me that they have gotten a body buzz, that they've got a little bit of it. There's nothing wrong with having cannabis sensitivity. There's plenty of people out there who have alcohol sensitivities, coffee sensitivities. They're sensitive to all sorts of things. And don't be shaming those people. Maybe help them explore other options that might work for them. And cannabis doesn't. There's no shame in wanting cannabis. There's no shame in wanting to not put it. There's no shame in wanting to not put pharmaceuticals into the body. No shame in any of that. Finding something that works for you. That's the direction. You know, a few, more than a few, professional athletes, and we've met them through the High Canada Vaccine Fund. David Irving used to be a Dallas Cowboy, then paid for cannabis use, fought it, he tried to appeal. It was a big battle for him. He didn't want to go on injuries. He was repeatedly taking injuries. What happens with a lot of professional athletes is they have these heavy restrictions on what they can put into their body. And their doctors are prescribing opiates, these pharmaceutical pain relievers. And it becomes too much for players. Addictions build up, tolerances build up, and a lot of people who work within athleticism have been actively fighting to loosen some of those registrations or regulations. And David Irving, definitely one of them. Here in Canada, one of my favorite examples of a professional athlete seeing the benefits of what cannabis can bring to the table in terms of treating options or pharmaceutical options. Mike, he's been very active within the cannabis sector. Well, last year he was both he played for both the Argonauts, the Toronto Argonauts, and the Hamilton Ticats. Um, yeah, Billy Ryan, he's graced our cover, and he devoted his life to helping people get their licenses, their medical licenses, and looking at this sector as a medical option instead of traditional pain killers. And there's a lot of this happening all over the world. And there's more than a few. This topic actually makes me a little sad because one of my favorite people, athletes that I've met over my bond with High Canada magazine, Elias Theodore. He was a UFC fighter. The main event was he had this big head of hair, and he was an MMA fighter. He was good. He trained in Mississauga. Um, he was top of his game. Awesome fighter, hell of a guy. And he passed away from liver cancer a number of years ago. He fought so hard against stigma for professional athletes to be allowed to use things like CBD cream and topicals and cannabis as a pain treatment alternative. Oh, somebody has come by my booth. Hold on. We are giving away. You want to choose a spirit animal? Let's see. Here we go.
It's a tiger.
Oh, they sneak in there. Oh, hold on. One, so I'll give you
sorry.
spirit. That is your spirit animal. What is it?
Peacock.
Peacock spirit.
I want a
Want
tiger
to
though.
take a look and see what that means. You can have the peacock spirit card, but you got to leave the book. Then I got to tell other people what their cards mean. But peacock spirit, that's one. I like that. We've had a few people take spirit animal cards so far today.
I want a tiger.
Oh,
Do you have a tiger?
well, it looks like the universe wants you to be a peacock. I don't know. I wouldn't mind being a peacock, big old
Here.
tail feathers. Oh, well,
Do you have a tiger in there?
I don't know. It's a brand new pack. You are the third person to take a
Can I
card.
look at
And
the
I can
deck?
guarantee that
Can
the
I
other two
go
did
through the
not.
deck?
What, sir?
Can I go through the deck?
No. So sorry. We got to be spirit. Maybe there's somebody out there who needs to hear tiger spirit. I think you need to hear what peacock spirit brings to you. You're not down on the peacock? Okay, put the peacock back in. Reject your peacock spirit.
Hang on, hang on.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a short commercial break. I'll be right back. My name is Cy Williams. You've tuned in to Steeltown Sessions, casting live from our street level studio at Element Cannabis, 5 King Street East
Do
in
a swap.
Hamilton.
Okay.
Stay lifted, stay lifted. Be back in 5.
Oh, I like you. Okay.
Let's move, we got more stops. This one's heavy. Almost there, push it up.
Proudly hosting the Deep Culture Steeled Sessions live show. Join our live recording and podcast. 20% off everything from 9 King Sing the Deep Culture Steeltown Daily.
Cy Williams. This is Steeltown Sessions. Welcome back to our 24-hour marathon. And we are doing so many things today. As always, this is an unscripted live show. We have so many things going on at Steeltown Sessions and at the Element Cannabis Superstore. We are broadcasting live from the beautiful windows here at Element Cannabis. This is a cannabis tourism destination if I've ever seen one. And let me tell you, there's just been so much hype around 420 weekend. And we have been broadcasting since the 18th. We put in 8 hours on the 18th, celebrating Canna Crawl and the kickoff of all cannabis celebrations for 420. And what an event Canna Crawl was. I was just blown away by the attendance, by the speakers, the enthusiasm. And we went down and did some people on the street interviews and check-ins around Canna Crawl. Got a bunch of great information that we will pass on later in the show about some cool things going on. We broadcasted for 8 hours yesterday, 419, 420 Eve, for all of those out there celebrating 420 Eve. Was Kush Kringle good to you? I hope he was. I hope you woke up this morning and you pulled out your cute little Rick and Morty soft stocking, and it was full of pre-rolls and concentrates and hardware and accessory products, maybe some papers, a grinder, a roller. I hope that your significant other or people who you sesh with celebrated 420 celebrated 420. It's changed a lot over the years, and that is definitely something we are going to be talking about today. So as we gear up for our giant last push, our the last 8 hours on this 420 celebration weekend, I woke up one morning and I saw a note that I written to myself from the night before, and it's like, Cy, do a 24-hour broadcast marathon blitz on 420 weekend. And I was like a little nervous going into it because I can talk and I can talk, but I didn't know if I could talk that much. Now, those of you who know me from the event circuit and the speaker circuit, you know that I do a lot of hosting and talking and interviewing. And traditionally, the third day of any cannabis convention, conference, show, or event, music festival, whatever it is, I lose my voice because I just talk so very, very much. Luckily, my producer and my executive producer, they have been taking good care of me. They've made sure I have lots of lozenges, lots of water, that I've been taking lots of time to rest my voice. And I'm back. It's 420. It's 420 morning, and 420 afternoon, and we are just going strong. My voice, while raspy and slightly sultry, is still with me, and I bet you that I will keep my voice all day today. And if I don't, I have a couple little smiley faces and sad faces and excited faces that I will use, and I have very expressive things. So I'm sure that I can, get great way. So welcome back. This is Steeltown Sessions. I'm your host, Cy Williams. We are broadcasting live from our street level studio in beautiful downtown Hamilton. I am gearing up to start the show on all the different platforms. We are we are going live on Rumble. We are going live on YouTube. Right now, this is on our High Media Inc. YouTube channel. We put them up as lives. We leave them up for a tiny little bit, and then we pull them down. So if you've been on a Steel Town Sessions episode already, or if you're trying to catch up on all the Steel Town Session live shows up to date, and you're looking and going, "Wow, where are they all?" Well, and when we get to episode 9, that's after the next show, next Saturday, April 25th, live from Sessions. We are editing them all up, and we are adding some good transitions and cleaning up the footage basically, and then we will re-release them as completed, finished episodes. You know, like I said, doing a live show, whoa, how much fun! It's chaos personified. It's turning all these various pieces um, into something that can pivot during a live show. This is a vibrant show, a vibrant storefront that we are broadcasting live from. It's a vibrant street outside. We are located on one of the busiest downtown intersections in Hamilton, James and King. Looking out at a beautiful park. It's a little chilly today. People are out there enjoying this Monday morning. And wow, it's great to be here. So we will be back in about 2 minutes, and we're going to stop for station identification, set up the rest of our streaming software so that we can go live from Rumble, so we can go live from Facebook, and maybe I can get a few other things going so that we can continue to check in live on both Instagram and TikTok. Okay, people, happy 420. Make sure you tune in about 15 minutes. We're going to get going. We're going to get going hard. We have an assortment of guests and people popping in, things to talk about. We have 420s to celebrate. Don't forget, every day it's at Element. If you come in between 9 and 10 a.m., you get 20% off everything in the shop. Today's Monday. That means Munchie Monday. So we have sales and discounts on all the munchies and edibles that you could possibly get your hands on a 420. Are you going to a 420 celebration this evening or this afternoon? Well, pop into Elements first. If you're looking for ancillary products like bongs, rigs, papers, trays, grinders, whatever, we have an amazing selection here at the shop. And one of the things I like about the Element Cannabis Superstore is that they don't mark up their ancillary products as much as 4 times like other retailers. They do it once, ensuring that there are some of the best price points around for these types of ancillary products. And they're not buying rando stuff that you see all over the place either. I see unique glassware, unique rigs, unique trays, and just so many cool bongs, things I've never seen before. So you definitely need to pop in to Element, the Element Cannabis Shop at 5 King Street East. If you are in the neighborhood today, 420, and you are feeling like a little bit of 420 company, you want to stock up on some of your 420 needs, you want to pop in and say hi to me. You pop in and say hi to me. I got a whole bunch of presents for people popping in to say hi. You can also enter in our 420 raffle, giving away a Puffco Pro. And this is about a $470 value. It is top of the line hardware. And if you are a concentrate enthusiast, if you love your shatter, your dabs, if you want to revolutionize the way that you approach concentrates, Puffco Peak. It's a game changer, and it will change the way you look and experience concentrates. Not lying, the Puffco Peak. Whoa, this one's pink. We've named it affectionately Ellie. And some lucky person we're gonna draw your raffle ticket at 4:20 or 4:25, just after we step outside, and we are gonna find out who wins this Puffco Pro. Oh, I wish I could put a raffle ticket in. I have a lot of friends who own this, and they are concentrate connoisseurs. And let me tell you, when Puffco released this, it was a game changer. Sleek, beautiful, efficient, um, everything you could ever ask for. A little out of some people's price point just to try it. But listen, the person who wins this, gonna blow your mind. Okay, we'll be back after this short commercial break. And stay lifted. Happy 420. And let me know in the comments section what you're doing for 420. Please like and subscribe. Catch you in a few minutes. Stay lifted. Side Williams. We are broadcasting live over the whole 420 weekend. We tried to do a 24-hour marathon broadcasting blitz, and then between people popping into our street level studio here at 5 King Street East in Hamilton, and all the things going on around a live show, and especially over was an ambitious undertaking. At we wanted to put in 24 hours of live broadcasting over a 3-day period, the 18th, the 19th, and the 20th. And we got to about 16 and 20 minutes that we were able to keep going and have guests and people popping in. And we had some musicians. Dottie Locks came in and performed a song. And let's see, we had all these guests popping by, and we had some people in from Canacrawl, and we talked about a new event happening in January. We talked about medical cannabis with a doctor that Arena brought over from Canacrawl as one of the speakers. We got to connect with a whole bunch of people. It was great to see JJ from Education. Rena and Anthony did such an amazing job on Canacrawl and making it an event to remember. This 420 is very different for me. Traditionally, 420 was always my biggest day, the biggest day of the year for High Canada Magazine, for the Canadian cannabis space. I'm just going to broadcast live on Instagram and add to the nostalgic flavor of this 420 for me. It is a very different 420. So 1 second, I'm going to tell you more about that. But first, I am going to get ready to broadcast this live to um Instagram. 3, 2, 1, and we are double platforming. I love a little double platforming action. So welcome back. This is Steeltown Sessions. I am out in the heart of a busy city on a busy Monday. There are a crowd of people across the street, quite a few of them actually, at least 100. We are building towards 420 here in the vibrant city of Hamilton. We're located in on one of the busiest intersections of downtown Hamilton. That's King and James, surrounded by towers and universities and big buildings, and of course Jackson Square. Great restaurants, great businesses, just so much vibrant culture that exists within the city of Hamilton. So much music, so much art. This 420 is a lot different though, because there are no major like celebrations like there are in the countries that are experiencing their first green rush. And by green rush, I mean the initial stages of entrepreneurship and job creation and growth that you see associated with legalization or decriminalization or a medical framework or even a hemp framework within any country. So the U.S. is seeing it right now. Excitement's high. So many states have taken a pro-cannabis approach, and they're excited, and they are still figuring out legalization and decriminalization and descheduling and retail sales, and they have state to state. They're all a little bit different, and soon the U.S. will fully set up their regulatory system. I pray that the powers that be see it as big ag, and they treat it a lot better than the Canadian regulatory body did to Canada. There are lessons to be learned there. There are ways to set it up way better. And the US, you have such a complicated setup when it comes state to state. Sorry, but you do. And once you're on top of all of that, and that's the time that Facebook and Instagram and a lot of the US-based social media platforms are going to loosen their grasp on community standards. I have lost so many Facebook accounts, so many Instagram accounts, TikTok accounts, social media accounts overall, because I publish a Canadian cannabis magazine. We work within the legal framework and have since legalization. Pre-legalization, we fought for change. And this is the change we wound up getting. So we're still here. We're broadcasting live once a week from the Elements Cannabis Superstore at 5 King Street East in Hamilton. This is our 8th episode, 8th live episode. And next Saturday, April 25th, that's our ninth official episode, and we've been broadcasting these live, and you've been able to enjoy watching the bad TV, bad commercials, unusual circumstances around our very new show. But we have proof of concept. We have been rocking with it, really enjoying being in this unique position in this unique city, and having an opportunity to be able to shuffle cannabis culture in more effectively with conventional culture, tying it directly to music, which it always has been, to the arts, to creativity, to the athleticism and culture overall in Canada. Cannabis augments all aspects of life, and it's always surprises and delights me to see how multifaceted and how many ways it can do this. Now, this is a 420 that is very different for me because there are no giant protests, there are no giant celebrations, there's no thousands of people gathering in every city around Canada, going out to Puff in Ottawa and Parliament Hill, to go to Toronto or Vancouver and attend one of the massive gatherings. And those were some crazy times, so exciting times. It was a chance to get together and change something and have a voice and a community and a tribe. I would love to see that come back. And I would love to see the people, every type of people get together and maybe do the same thing with homelessness or 100 other things that we could get together and have a voice on and be passionate about together. That's what I like about spring and summer. You see these big events, these big gatherings. Music festivals are a great example where we get like-minded people coming together to celebrate and enjoy something, part of our culture that they really believe in, connect with their community. And that's what we've been doing here at Steeltown Sessions. This 420 is smaller. we don't have as many people out there. They feel a lot of people came out for the cannabis celebrations because it was new and exciting, and they needed to see change. It's funny to be a mature market now and watch it or play or recess and create something or enjoy something. Go outside and enjoy the sun or anything that you sesh with embodies that spirit of 420. You like carrying 420 with you wherever you go. And that's the idea that I try to hold on to and think about in this changing world. You know, a lot of people who come in here today have been happy and centered, and most of us wished each other a happy 420. It's kind of like St. Patrick's Day, or maybe Valentine's Day or Mother's Day or Father's Day. One of the it's in there. It's definitely a holiday. Um, to my friends who in Germany and in New York City and in Winnipeg, all my friends out at the block party in Vancouver, and my friends at the summit in Niagara Falls. If you're out there right now and you are stopping and pausing because it is 4/20/2026, and you're stepping outside and having yourself a little moment of connection with the cannabis spirit, know that you are celebrating 4/20 with many, many, many other people worldwide. The collective spirit of 4/20 is strong. Anyways, I'm Cy Williams. This is Steeltown Sessions. I am broadcasting live from my street level studio here in the heart of Hamilton. I'm at the Element Cannabis Superstore located at 5 King Street East in Hamilton. There are a crowd of about, I'd like to say, 120 people in the park across the road from me. They seem to be enjoying themselves. It is a cool day for April 20th. And that's we've had a few cooler 420s, understandably. It is also a Monday. Traditionally, Monday 420s, we have a hard time waking up. Watch, all of us on like 426 will be like, it's time to go out and have a street party. But um, today, this is 4/20/2026. If you're watching, where were you today? Did you do anything special for 4/20? Did you attend one of this next level, this next style of 4/20 events out there? Smaller, more intimate, perhaps. Did you attend a summit or a business meeting or get together with colleagues from the space? Or maybe you just stepped out at 4/20. Decided to go on your phone, smoke a joint, commemorate the moment. I remember where I've been for 4/20s for the last 12 years. There have been 4/20s where I was so incredibly busy and booked, going from event to event to event to event, that I honestly couldn't believe the passion of my sector, of my tribe. I'd like to see some of that come back. And I'd like to see it directed at some other things. Can you imagine if we all got together now and used our collective power to talk about sustainability, or address some of the problems that every city is seeing out there? Homelessness, the high cost of living, the there are it's a busy, crazy time in our world right now. And wow, would I love to see the collective power of our tribe. I want really I go to work. And I know as we watch these green rushes in Europe and in the US and in other countries that are really starting to finally understand the power of the cannabis brings to the table. As we watch these, and this of my lifetime, I expect to see cannabis normalized across the globe. When we start to turn our collective power and our collective voices towards change, change is possible. And yes, there's those of you out there going, but it's just weed. It wasn't just weed. It wasn't just the fact that it was cannabis. And that is a mindset that our sector has fought really hard to break that stigma. Um, we, all of us, were fighting for a basic thing. To be able to consume a plant that grows out of the earth that only does good, recreationally or medicinally. So, you know what? Happy 420 to all of my viewers, to everybody who's popped in to today to our to Steeltown Sessions episode 8 at the Element Cannabis Superstore. It's been a fun day. It's a very different day, uh, but different isn't bad. Every 420 has its own flavor, and this one tastes a little bit like Hamilton. You know, I've got a crush on Hamilton. Mm. So we're gonna do some cleanup stuff. I'm gonna go out and step out on the sidewalk in a little while and do my own version of 420. Um, I would like to shout out Rush Removals. And these guys are great friends of the magazine, great friends of Steeltown Sessions. And anytime we need to make something disappear, they make it disappear. These guys are awesome. Rush Removal, you got a bunch of stuff in your backyard, call them, they'll make it disappear. They're local, Hamilton, Burlington, Stony Creek, bunch of hardworking guys. I love this group. They're funny. They're going to be supplying some bad commercials to offset my bad television. But wait, you just wait. We've got some changes. We've been building, growing, calling in some support from our amazing network to make this even bigger and badder than it is right now. So, yeah, you can complain about sound quality. You can complain about the weird angles and how many times I jump around across streaming platforms. That I'm on Instagram. Oh, maybe I'm on TikTok. Oh, maybe I'm on Rumble. Oh, maybe I'm on Facebook. Which one of the Facebooks? Oh no, maybe I'm streaming live from any other place. But we are figuring it out. We've thrown in our first lot of episodes. We're going to do a big follow up on April 25th, next Saturday, with a bunch of special guests. Well, it's all going to be taken down. You only get to see the live and maybe check it out a day after. We're in the process of taking them all down. And then we're going to edit them all up and put them all back up. So you'll be able to watch a cleaner version. We're just going to get bigger and better, and we have some amazing things planned for Steeltown Sessions and for everything going on within the cannabis space in Hamilton and the culture space in Hamilton and how they intersect. Um, Shout out to Element for being my host and allowing me to have this opportunity to have a street level studio in the heart of a busy city like Hamilton. Hamilton, I just want to call you out. You are so freaking cute. I walk around before the shows, after the shows, and I kind of take you in. And the graffiti art everywhere, the urban edge, this kind of a punk rock aesthetic mixed with some very unique takes on architecture and city planning. Because it's such a working class city too. It's like you see that reflected in a lot of the street art and things that are going on uh, aesthetically within Hamilton. And Hamilton, I got such a crush on you right now. I am been finding out about all the interesting and cool things that Hamilton is going to offer. And I can't wait to keep exploring Hamilton with you, our viewers, to continue to talk culture, to talk music, to talk theater, to poetry. We have a plethora of interesting guests that are going to be on the show over the spring and over the summer. Our show will continue to get better. We are not in the back rooms anymore. We are not broadcasting from our basements, from our garages, from our trailers, or from our darkened sheds worried about FCC or enforcement. We are in the window in a busy city, at the busiest intersection in the bustling heart of Hamilton. Hamilton, that is the heart of the cannabis space in Ontario. Has been, is, will be. I think the other cities got to work a little harder. To our viewers nationally and internationally, as far away as Egypt, Barcelona, and Venice. Thank you for watching. It's always great to hear that we have that support. I'm not forgetting Berlin, ICBC. I hear you guys did a great job. On behalf of myself, Cy Williams, on behalf of Element and the Canadian cannabis space and cultural space. Happy 420. So we are going to draw the winner of 2 minutes and 2 minutes. I'm pretty excited to find out who won this bad boy. Bad girl. Sorry, her name is Ellie. The color is rose quartz. I understand the Element team named her. So she's beautiful. She is a state-of-the-art piece of hardware that if you're into extractions and you feel that maybe a dab rig and an e-nail maybe are a little too complicated or advanced for you, you don't want to burn yourself or whatever, and you want to try something that makes the whole experience truly into an experience, you got to try this out. I believe the retail value is like 450, 470. First time I tried this, blew my mind. Honestly, blew my mind. Um, with live resin. Oh, try some strawberry jam from Dabble, one of these, and that'll be an experience you will remember for the rest of your life. Positive experience. You want to really explore terpene profiles and complex, terpene tastes, and really appreciate your concentrates. Well, this was revolutionary for me, and I'm not negating how wonderful having a great rig is, and knowing your temperatures and figuring out the intricacies of an e-nail or dab culture, because process is everything. But this every time I've been somewhere where they pull one of these out, you know that you are going to experience the flavor, the complex tastes and terpenes that you're gonna really get the most out of the concentrate. And isn't that why they're called concentrates? Concentrated. This is concentrated hardware for concentrates. I love it. I don't have one. I was like, oh, can I put a raffle ticket in? They're like, no, no, no. You're the host of Steeltown Sessions. How do you think that would look? So I think Puffco should send me some of these so I can give more away on Steel Town Sessions. And maybe I could get one for myself. Possible, possible. Puffco Peak. We're gonna give this away in a couple minutes. I have a raffle. Oh, I have a handy dandy raffle. I don't know what they're called. Drum, I guess a raffle drum. Now, one thing I will say, for as high-end a product as this is, Puffco, you should really do more education. A lot of people love their pre-rolls, and they don't know a lot about concentrates. We work and live within the Canadian cannabis space. to most people I know, it's a no-brainer. But because we've been doing it a while, we've been immersed in the culture, and there are a lot of new enters and new entries to the space, to the culture. A lot of people looking to move away from alcohol, you know, and whatever else, and enjoying both the implied medicinal effects or discovering it for medicinally as well, or just recreationally. It's so much better for you and your state of mind. And certainly, one of the things I like to do. So we have our bin, our barrel, we're going to give away.
Connor's coming.
All right, so we're gonna bring.
Over.
Okay, this is gonna be the hand of Connor. Okay, so. So we are on, what is it? There we go. We are on Instagram Live and, no, there we go. And hold up. Boop, 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 boop. And we're on YouTube Live as well. Wow, okay, we're gonna get in here. Let's change this up here. So, 420 giveaway. We are Steeltown Sessions. We are broadcasting live from Element Cannabis Superstore, my favorite cannabis tourism destination spot in the heart of downtown Hamilton. Okay, all right, let's pick a winner. So, see, no cheating. I didn't throw 20 entries in there, honestly. I think I saw somebody who spelled his name PSI.
Ethan. Can't read it.
Oh.
Ethan Connell?
Let's see.
You got the phone number.
So, Ethan Connell.
It looks like Ethan Connell.
Ethan Connell, we are going to call you and we are going to, we're going to let you know that you just won this beautiful Puffco.
Unreal.
I believe her name is Ellie.
Solid unit.
It is. It's the Puffco Peak. It is. There we go. It is. Oh, I'm gonna miss you, Ellie. I've been looking at you for a couple days now. We knew this would go to a good home, and this will change the way you look at concentrates, Ethan, for the rest of your life.
All right, let's give him a call.
Oh, thank you. Caught it. Okay.
Hey, is this Ethan? Is this Ethan at all? It's Connor from Element Cannabis. Good, man. We just did the draw for the Puffco Peak, and I pulled your name, so you're the winner, my friend. Yeah, you won that giveaway. I think you were in earlier today, but yeah, yesterday. Yeah, so we pulled your name this morning, or well, just now, sorry. And then if you want to come on by, we're more than happy to give you your Puffco Peak. Yeah, you can come in tomorrow, whatever works best for you, man. We'll put it aside for you, and then make sure you come and pick it up. Yeah,
That's a happy man right
happy
there.
guy.
Well, congratulations, Ethan. You know what? You are a lucky guy.
Absolutely, brother. Yeah, happy to support. Thanks for coming on in and supporting the business, and hopefully this is a little takeaway for you, for sure.
See, this is a happy man. He will come
Absolutely.
in here. He will look at Ellie.
We'll put it aside for you, and then come by tomorrow, and the staff will help you out big time. Yeah, no problem, Ethan. You have a great day. You too. Enjoy. Cheers. This phone is a little staticky, but he's ready to rip.
Okay, that's awesome. Congratulations, Ethan.
Mr. Ethan, our winner.
Wow, okay, I can't wait to see what we're gonna give away next. We're just gonna get better and better.
For sure.
Wonder how those Cardi B seats were. Or,
I know. I'm hoping
or-
those girls come in.
Or that VIP party yesterday in Niagara Falls. We gave away a few tickets. Two of the people who won came in to tell us that they had a phenomenal time.
Oh, at the actual event.
Yeah,
Oh, no way.
at the
The VIP.
DJ Sneak thing last
Oh,
night.
DJ Snake.
Yeah, the
Okay.
CCTA.
No,
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, happy 420.
Thank you, boss. I'll go put this aside for Mr. Ethan.
All right.
And then
Bye, Ellie. Well, I'll never see you again. Okay, so we've done our giveaway. I think we are ready to call it a session. I'm Cy Williams. I've been your host of Steeltown Sessions. We've just finished up our 16 and a half hour out of 24-hour blitz. Didn't quite get to 24, but hey, you know what? There's always next time. I broadcast live every Saturday from this beautiful street level studio here in beautiful downtown Hamilton at 5 King Street East, right at the corner of King and James. You can check us out on YouTube at High Media Inc. or Deep Culture Magazine. You can find us on TikTok. That's me, Cy Canada, CY Canada. On TikTok, on Instagram. We're Deep Culture Magazine on Instagram. We used to be High Canada Magazine. Now we're Deep Culture. So thanks to my producer, Paul. Thank you to my executive producer and co-founder, Kitty Six. Thanks to the team. Thanks to all of our guests. Thanks to all the people behind the scenes that you don't see help me put this all together, who believe in my particular dream of alternative media for culture. Okay, that's it for me right now. See you next Saturday, April 25th for one more show. Bye. Stay lifted. Thank you, too. You know.
Let's move, we got more stops. This one's heavy. Almost there, push it up.
Proudly hosting the Deep Culture Steeled Sessions live show. Join our live recording and podcast. 20% off everything from 9 King Sing the Deep Culture Steeltown Daily. Proudly hosting the Deep Culture Steeled Sessions live show. Join our live recording and podcast. 20% off everything from 9 King Sing the Deep Culture Steeltown Daily.
Happy birthday, Big Mike. We're at the Toronto Green Market here in Toronto. We have all these people here who are wishing you a happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
So on behalf of High Canada and all the groups here at the Toronto Green Market, one more time.
Happy birthday!